It wasn't just a receipt in Liam's jacket pocket. It wasn't just the late-night whispers or the stolen glances. It wasn't even the subtle, creeping distance that began to grow between us after that trip. It was everything, every tiny, insignificant thing that added up until it crushed me under the unbearable weight of betrayal. But let me take you back to where it all began, because betrayal this deep doesn't happen overnight. It festers. It grows in the shadows, feeding on trust and love until it consumes everything. My name is Maya. I am, or I was, a woman who believed in love. I believed in family. I believed in loyalty. My husband, Liam, was my partner, my other half. For 8 years, we built a life together, a life I thought was built on trust, on unshakable commitment. And my brother Caleb? He was my rock, the person I trusted above all others. Growing up, it was just the two of us against the world. Caleb was always there for me, my protector, my best friend. When Liam's birthday was approaching, I wanted to give him something special, something unforgettable. I thought of the long hours he worked, the stress he carried, and the way he always said he wished he had more time to relax. At the same time, Caleb had been going through a rough patch. He'd just come out of a bad breakup and seemed lost, like he didn't know which way was up anymore. I thought, why not give them both something they need? A break, a chance to recharge. That's how the trip came about. It was supposed to be a gesture of love, a gift from me to them. I poured months into planning it. A 10-day stay at one of the most luxurious resorts in the Maldives. Overwater villas, private beaches, gourmet dining, everything they could possibly need to escape their worries. I told myself it was the perfect idea. Liam would get the birthday of a lifetime, and Caleb would have the chance to find himself again. I even joked with them as they left for the airport, "Don't have too much fun without me." But they did. Too much fun. A kind of fun I was never supposed to know about. The first cracks appeared when they came back. At first, I told myself I was imagining things. They were both quieter, more withdrawn. Liam seemed distracted, like he was somewhere else even when he was sitting right beside me. And Caleb? Caleb couldn't meet my eyes. Every time we spoke, he seemed nervous, like he was carrying a secret too heavy to bear. Still, I pushed it aside. That's what I've always done, pushed things aside. I've always been the peacemaker, the one who smooths over the rough edges and keeps everyone happy. So, I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was being paranoid. But then, the little things started piling up. Liam's phone buzzed constantly, but he was careful never to leave it unattended. Caleb stopped coming around as much, and when he did, he seemed different, lighter somehow, like a man who'd found something he didn't want to lose. Then there was the receipt, that cursed receipt that set everything in motion. I found it one evening as I was doing laundry. It was tucked into the pocket of Liam's jacket, a crumpled little slip of paper from an expensive restaurant I'd never heard of. The date on it was 2 nights ago, a night Liam had told me he was working late. My stomach turned, but I convinced myself it was nothing. Maybe it was a work dinner. Maybe it was nothing at all. But my gut wouldn't let it go. That gnawing feeling of unease only grew stronger with each passing day. And then, one quiet Sunday afternoon, it all came crashing down. Liam had left his phone on the kitchen counter. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. But curiosity isn't kind. It's cruel, relentless. It whispers to you, urging you to look, to find answers, even when you know those answers will destroy you. The message that popped up was from Caleb. "Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about you." My heart stopped. My first thought was that it was some kind of mistake. Caleb must have sent it to the wrong person. But then I opened the thread, and the truth stared back at me in black and white. It wasn't just one message. It was hundreds, photos of them together, laughing, drinking, wrapped in each other's arms. Messages that started out innocent but quickly turned into something darker, something I couldn't ignore. "I've never felt this way before," Liam had written. "You make me feel alive." Caleb's response? "I feel the same. I hate sneaking around, but I can't lose you." I felt like I was drowning. My chest heaved as I struggled to breathe. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the phone. It wasn't just an affair, it was a betrayal so profound I couldn't comprehend it. The man I had built my life with, the brother I had loved unconditionally. They had stolen something from me that I could never get back. I don't remember much of what happened after that. Time seemed to slow down, each second stretching into eternity. When Liam came home, I was still sitting at the kitchen table, the phone clutched in my hand like a weapon. He walked in with his usual carefree smile, but when he saw me, he froze. "What's wrong?" he asked, his voice cautious. I didn't answer. I just slid the phone across the table toward him. He picked it up, his face pale as he read the messages. For a moment, he didn't say anything. Then he looked up at me, his eyes wide with panic. "Maya, I can explain." "Don't," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "Don't you dare insult me by trying to explain this." The front door opened and Caleb walked in, oblivious to the storm he was walking into. When he saw the look on my face and the phone in Liam's hand, his expression shifted from confusion to terror. He dropped his bag, his mouth opening and closing like a fish gasping for air. "You," I said, my voice cracking, "you were my brother. My brother. How could you do this to me?" Caleb's face crumpled and tears began streaming down his cheeks. "Maya, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen." "Didn't mean for this to happen?" I screamed, my voice breaking under the weight of my pain. "You've been lying to me for months. You've been sneaking around behind my back, destroying everything I thought I knew about you, about us." Liam tried to step in, his voice desperate. "Maya, please, let me explain." "Explain?" I spat, my anger boiling over. "Explain what? That you threw away 8 years of marriage for a secret affair? That you betrayed me with my own brother? What could you possibly say to make this better?" They stood there silent and pathetic as I let the full force of my heartbreak pour out. "You've taken everything from me," I said, my voice trembling. "My marriage, my family, my trust. And for what? Was it worth it? Was it worth destroying me?" Neither of them answered. They just stood there, two shadows of the men I thought I knew. I walked out of that house that night, leaving behind the ruins of my old life. For weeks, I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw their faces, heard their words, felt the sharp sting of their betrayal all over again. But slowly, painfully, I began to piece myself back together. I realized something important. Their betrayal was a reflection of who they were, not who I was. They may have shattered my heart, but they would never break my spirit. And one day, I will find the strength to trust again, because even in the darkest moments, there is light. You just have to fight to find it.